Martin, we're going to listen in. The hearing is getting started now, so let's listen in. There's the suspect.
Today is June 19th, 2015, Charleston County Bond Court. I'm Judge James Gosnell, the Chief Magistrate of Charleston County. This is the case of State versus Dylann Roof. Mr. Roof is charged with 9 counts of murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the hearing, I'd like to make a statement, please. Charleston is a very strong community. We have big hearts. We're a very loving community. And we're going to reach out to everyone, all victims, and we will touch them. We have victims, 9 of them. But we also have victims on the other side. There are victims on this young man's side of the family. Nobody would have ever thrown them into the whirlwind of events that they have been thrown into. We must find it in our heart at some point in time, not only to help those that are victims, but to also help his family as well. And it's all done and said. Scarlett Wilson, the solicitor, and Ashley Pennington will have done the best job that they can do. They're some of the finest. Our law enforcement are the finest in this state, and they will do their job honorably. I trust they will. With that being said, we will move forward today with this hearing. Mr. Roof is charged with 9 counts of murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of the crime. Representing the state is the solicitor Scarlett Wilson, and representing the defendant is Mr. Ashley Pennington. Does the defendant give me permission to conduct this hearing via video conferencing? Mr. Pennington?
Yes, sir. I've discussed that with Mr. Roof, and he's aware that this would be the process, and we certainly agree to that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Roof has counsel today. He's been appointed, and it would be Mr. Pennington. Is that correct, Ashley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Roof, you're charged with 9 counts of murder and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. Your first appearance...
So, I really don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to make of, and I don't know what to make of what the judge said in the beginning, which was very odd. I want to talk about the very emotional family statements, which really almost had us in tears here. But let me, Sonny, before this judge says, sitting in front of a group of all 9 the family members, they asked all 9 family members to bring representatives for this bond hearing, and one of the first things out of his mouth is that Dylann Roof's family of victims in this. What the hell is he talking about?
That was really shocking. I actually have never seen in a bond proceeding, an arraignment, a magistrate judge give any sort of speech, and certainly not a speech that seems to, I don't know, seems to feel sorry for the defendants, the perpetrators, family. I've never seen anything like that, and I actually thought that was really inappropriate.
Go ahead, Bakari.
Let me tell you, I haven't been practicing law that long in South Carolina, especially like Mr. Mather and others, but I will tell you, I've never seen it in the courtroom at all. And just as a spectator, you know, it caught me off guard. I didn't know if I was going to give any legal analysis or cry up here.
Exactly.
I mean, it was that emotional. For him to start off the hearing the way he did, it took me aback. I don't know that judge personally.
Judge James Gosnell is his name. And he started out by saying, you know, I want to say that I have the utmost confidence in the solicitor here, which is Scarlett Wilson, correct?
Well, I agree with that. I mean, that is fine.
All right, that's beyond that. That's normal. And law enforcement. But to come out with all of those people sitting there emotionally crying, they just lost their loved ones 2 days ago, and to say, oh, and also I want to talk to the suspect's family. What? I don't think anybody understands it, and I think that is why it was also inappropriate for
this defendant to be on videotape outside of the courtroom. You want victims' families to have the opportunity to look in someone's
eye, right,
and explain to them what their crime has done. And we knew that those families were going to be there, and that is why he shouldn't have the privilege,
their family members. Their family members didn't get. Hang on, wait, Bakari. Their family members didn't get a chance to sit in that church via video with a bulletproof vest or whatever. They didn't know it was coming. He had the opportunity to face these families with a bulletproof vest on, whatever you. But chose not to do it, and he should have done that. I agree with Sonny. But
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I do want us. I mean, I don't want to give this judge and his statements too much air. I don't want to give too much air to him being in the courtroom or not being in the courtroom. But those statements that we heard from those families,
we're going to talk about
were
those.
Very, very powerful.
Well, beyond, again, you're right, beyond the judge, which you said you didn't know if you wanted to be, to be upset, right, or to be mad, or to cry. When the first one, I think the first representative that came up was from Ethel Lance's family. And before we do that, let's read this here. These are the victims, and they asked all of them to be in court. Clementa Pinckney, which we know, we call him Clem. Cynthia Hurd, who's 54. There's Sharon Holman Singleton. Okay, so again, this is all done via video link. It's done via pool cam, and they're repeating it as they do in video turnaround. After hearing them,
I heard it. Okay, so I was being way too cautious.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I had to listen to them again and just say, I mean, there's a time and place for everything, and sometimes we do act differently with the camera in our face in the show, but we need some respect and love in this community.
And listen. If we're going to be honest about, we have to be honest about this particular conversation. For this judge, there's so much hurt and pain, and many people are outraged by them. And for him to talk about that, fine. The church community will deal with that. Even the victims. The first one said, "I forgive you." I don't know if I'm that big a person, because there are other words that I want to put in front of you for him if I was a member of family, involved in this. But forgive would not be the first word that came out of my mouth.
But it goes to show you that these were God-fearing people, or are God-fearing people, that these are people...
But God-fearing people are human as well.
That are raised within the church, though, and forgiveness is I think, a tenet of this community. And for this woman to say she wanted